All right, good evening, everybody. Let's get a check of what's happening out there this afternoon. Live radar shows we have a lot of thunderstorms moving through the area, but everything, at least as of right now, is just below severe weather limits. We do have some flash flooding concerns. We do have new additional flash flood warnings across all of northwest Arkansas, extending into the River Valley, and those even push back into parts of southeastern Oklahoma as we see this band of heavy rain slowly progress off towards the east. Flooding is going to be a big concern area-wide tonight. Our tornado potential is really going to be focused into portions of the River Valley, and that's likely going to be it. Not to say you might not see severe storms in northwest Arkansas. Hail and maybe a little bit of wind would be your primary concern, but it's going to be the River Valley south of a warm front. Remember when we talked about that warm front yesterday? That's going to be the critical factor in dictating where that severe weather sets up this evening. I want to come back to live radar here in just a few moments. We'll track some of those storms, but I want to show you where that warm front is set up right now. Generally speaking, right in this general vicinity. So we're in the warm sector across Scott and Logan counties. That's where that tornado potential would be highest. Doesn't guarantee us a tornado there. I've got my fingers crossed and hope we can avoid it, but that's where the potential is going to be a little bit higher. With that said, this area of low pressure developing through parts of LaFleur County is going to try to nudge that warm front a little bit closer to the Fort Smith area, a little bit further into LaFleur County, and that's why the Weather Service opted to go ahead and add LaFleur, Sebastian, and Franklin counties to our tornado watch. That watch is going to run through 9 o'clock this evening. All the activity and all the rain we've seen north of the front all day long today, it's really helped us out by preventing that warm front from making it any further towards the north. All that rain, that thunderstorm activity, I pretty much set up a wall of cold air that says, hey, pesky warm front, you ain't coming here. Good news for a lot of folks, still not necessarily the best news for those that are on the warm side of that front. We have to watch that severe weather potential really closely. You can look at dew points and you can kind of see those higher dew point values generally along and south of that warm front. That puts us in that warm sector where we are a little bit more concerned. Meanwhile, it's cold and dew points are a little bit lower in northwest Arkansas. When it comes to the severe zones, this is what the Storm Prediction Center still has for us. There's not been a whole lot of changes, some minor tweaks here and there, but the primary focus where that level 4 potential is right now and continuing into the evening, at least through about 10 o'clock, that red zone is going to be those same areas along and south of that warm front. When I tell you it's critical to tonight's forecast, it's going to dictate a lot of what we see. Not to say that you might not see storms towards the north, but those are primarily going to be hail potential and a little bit of wind, and of course the flooding concern. When you look at just the tornado risk, this hasn't changed a whole lot either. A subtle shift off towards the east. So you find those reds, pretty much a large chunk of Franklin back into portions of eastern Sebastian and southeastern LaFleur County. That extends back towards Polk County all the way into central Arkansas. Black hash marks, again, don't necessarily mean probabilities are any higher or lower. It just means if a tornado is actually able to get going, it could be on the stronger side. We don't want that, do we, at all? We've got to talk about the flood risk. We've seen a lot of flooding already today, and the bulk of the rain is arriving now and into tomorrow before eventually tapering off early Sunday morning. This comes from the Weather Prediction Center. These outlooks work a lot like our severe weather outlooks, but it just comes from a different agency. It's maxed out. We're kind of at the high end for the potential of some flooding in this zone today, and by tomorrow, we're still looking at that flash flooding concern, but it does largely shift a little bit further into central and eastern Arkansas. Let's talk about Futurecast. I'm going to bump it back rather, so you can get a kind of an idea of the timeline of what we could be looking at. These things aren't perfect. It's a computer. It's not great, but it does give us an idea of how much longer we're going to be looking at these storms. You can see they continue to develop somewhat isolated in nature on and off into the 9-10 o'clock hour before slowly but surely early tomorrow morning, we're talking 2-3, that round gets ready to exit the area, but then we'll watch for more to build back into the region from the south and southwest. And by 6:30 tomorrow morning, we got scattered showers, some of which are going to be heavy at times. Big bulk of rain continues through most of the morning hours. This is 8:30 tomorrow, so most of it's heavy. You can see why that flash flood potential is going to be a concern for us over the next couple of days. And then by the second half of your Saturday, we've still got rain out there, maybe not as heavy, maybe not as widespread, but certainly still going to be wet come into the afternoon, and you'll continue to see rain chances throughout the course of your Saturday. How much more rain are we looking at? This is from the Weather Prediction Center as well. You'll notice northwest Arkansas, I think we're on track to pick up probably 2 to 3 more inches of rain, give or take where you're at. And of course, that's going to be highly dictated based off of where those heaviest thunderstorms set up. The further south and east you go, you're probably looking at anywhere between 4 to 8 additional inches of rain across those same zones that were really focused on that tornado potential tonight. I'm going to go back to live radar. I know I got to show you the 7-day forecast too. I just don't want to make sure I'm missing anything here that I need to pass along to you. In fact, there is something I do want to pass along to you. I want to zoom down just a little bit for our friends in LeFlore County. There is a tornado warning just off to your south. It's not a concern for you right now, but it's these supercells back near Broken Bow. They're going to be moving off towards the north and east. And keep in mind, this is that warm sector where they would have a few more ingredients available to them. Those are the ones we want to watch. We also want to make sure that nothing pops up out ahead of that line. Here's your 7-day forecast. You'll notice we do see some quieter weather by Sunday evening. It's cooler though. We're in the low 30s Monday morning. If you got plants outside, you better take care of those. Could even see some wraparound snow flurries Saturday night into Sunday. Likely doesn't amount to much, if anything at all. High pressure keeps us nice and cool going into next week. Something to look forward to. It's only going to get warmer by the end of next week as well. In the River Valley, you're also looking at a high chance of rain tomorrow. Tapers off Sunday morning. Probably no flurries in the River Valley. Maybe a couple. Cool. Frost potential there Monday morning into next week. Things are certainly going to get a bit more quiet. I know I'm standing in front of half the 7-day forecast. Apologize for that. There you go. Sunshine next Friday with a high of 79.
All right.